a better understanding, actually help you like mathematics. And why are we talking math? Well, the National Mathematics Day is coming up. The Ghana National Mathematical Society is right here in the house. And guess who is representing them? It is Professor Anku. So if you have any questions about mathematics, well, do email them to me right now, sunrise@tv3.com.gh, or send me a text message, 024-888-5388. And this time, Professor Anku has brought with him two students. I'll be talking to one right now, Francis Entridonko, an SH1 student who says she is cool with math now. Now, how cool is my question as I say good morning to Professor Anku and Francis. Welcome to Sunrise. Representing Damasco, eh? Wow, cool. And you like math now?
Yeah.
Did you like math before?
No.
What happened? What made a change?
Math was difficult, and then my father introduced me to Professor Anku, and I went to his mathematics academy. He told me that math is a challenge, so we must conquer that challenge. We should confront that challenge and conquer it. So I did so, and I'm okay with math now.
Oh, cool. So, Prof, is it simply the way we teach, or is it what we teach that's at the core of some of us saying that, well, we are not good at math, or math is not our favorite subject?
Yeah, it could be both, but mainly the way we teach mathematics is the real issue. Because most often we make it look like it is, something coming out of space. But mathematics is real, something that we do every day. Everyday things we do involve mathematics. And when we make mathematics relevant to everyday things, students begin to appreciate it because they see that everything they do contains some mathematics. And that's the way we approach it. And psychologically, there's something we must be aware of. When I give you a ladder to climb something, and the first step is very high, you may give up. But if the ladder is so low that you can climb step by step, before you realize, you may be at the very top height without realizing how far you've gone. The same thing with mathematics. You start with what people can do. And then when you start with that, you move them gradually to the more seemingly difficult areas, and they will still be able to perform because they've been able to understand from the very beginning, from the very fundamentals. And that's the approach you must adopt, and that's what I do to all my students. So you don't put all students together as one because there's always variability in ability. So you must be able to deal with each student's challenges. And I tell them all the time, a challenge is,
There's that word
leap
again, challenge,
yes.
challenge. And Francis spoke about a challenge. Now, most of us feel challenged when we are faced with something new in any instance.
Yeah.
How do you help, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17-year-olds deal with the challenge of mathematics? What's the special thing about your teaching method?
Yeah, like I said, I've got to identify, what your background is, what you perceive as difficulties. And there are certain things I call mental barriers that many people have. So if you're able to identify those mental barriers, you break them and be able to move ahead. Because one of the mental barriers is like people think mathematics is difficult.
It sounds so easy the way you put it. The last time you said it can even improve one's relationship, one's marriage. Is that why you decided to make Valentine's Day National Math Day as well? Is there a relationship between love and mathematics?
Yeah, the thing is, we need to be showing love to mathematics. You see, these days, unfortunately, the minds of the youth are being taken away by so many other things that seemingly are not important at that stage of their development. They're supposed to be studying, to develop themselves, to renew their minds. And mathematics can help you in that direction if you actually understand it. You find it so exciting that sometimes you even forget about your lunch because you're enjoying mathematics, which is very good food.
Francis, usually people say that it is boys who are good at math, and now you say you are good at math. What was the difference? What is it that Professor Anku taught you that you weren't taught by your math teacher in school up to that point?
Professor Anku gives you this area in which you are learning math at your own pace. But at school, you are given a certain time to do your math. So you take your time in the Megasa Institute, you take your time to do your math. But at school, you have a certain limit, which I must get there. So I do it at my own pace, and I get to understand it.
So are you able to share your new skills with your friends?
Yes.
Have they tried it?
I don't know about that.
Has it helped them?
Those who learn with me at school, yes.
Yes. So, Prof, coming back to the Ghana National Mathematical Society and the National Math Day, is there going to be a big mathematical celebration? Are you going to send out lots of Valentine cards? How is it going to be celebrated?
Yeah, what we're doing this year is, in fact, we started this since 2007, where we engage students all over the country in so many activities. And it's not going to be different this year. In fact, we're having a press conference on the 12th, where the Minister of Education is expected to be there to address it. We're expecting our members all over the regions, all over the towns, to organize functions on the Friday 12th and then Saturday 13th, because the Valentine Day itself is on the 14th, which is a Sunday. So a lot of quizzes, symposia, workshops, march pasts, cleanups will be taking place all over the country, just to sensitize the public to the importance of mathematics. Unfortunately, you see, even though mathematics is so important for developing this country, and that's what all developed countries have used, you and I know that many students are afraid of mathematics. If they have the choice, mathematics is the last choice. But it should be the first choice because it's the simplest to do, and it's the most exciting, and it's what we need to develop our country. Because like I've said several times, we can have models that we can use to solve all our problems in Ghana. Take the example of sanitation, right? Now, we can model sanitation mathematically and solve the problem. For example, there's a talk about AMA of getting energy out of our waste. So, to model it, you must look at what's the quantum of waste? What is the quality of waste? What type of waste do we have? So that you have to separate the waste sometimes to maybe this glass, this is that, separate all that, and then find out, how much energy can we get from each type of waste, and how much time do we need to convert it to give you energy? How do you make sure that you control the energy you are getting that it doesn't go into waste? There are many other things you can do, and you can model this mathematically.
Okay, Prof, supposing you were an 8-year-old, you wouldn't be worried about sanitation problems in that way. You'd be worried about sanitation problems in a completely different manner. For example, how to keep your school uniform clean, or how to make sure that you do your homework on time. Can mathematics help you solve those problems if you are an 8 or 9-year-old or a senior high school student like Francis here? Can mathematics help in her everyday life?
Yeah, you see, we begin from somewhere. From what I said, it's just to show that, mathematics permeates all our life, okay? But we begin from somewhere, and at a very simple level, like let me give you this example. You have 6 CDs, right, which you take to school, and 1/3 of it is what you spent on your transportation. So I ask you, what's 1/3 of it? You find out, that 1/3 of it is 2 CDs. So how much do you have left? 4 CDs. You go to school, and they are serving lunch, and you go and buy lunch 3 CDs. Right? So how much are you left with? 1 CD. It's time for you to go home. You must pay 2 CDs back. And you have only 1 CD. What's going to happen to you?
You're in debt.
You're going to be in trouble. Maybe you have to walk home. Right? You look at it at that level, but you can't, look at it at a higher level where people go out, they close from work, they meet a friend, they say, oh, let's go and meet at this pub. Let's take 1 bottle. Another friend comes, give you 1 bottle. Before you realize, you spent all the money in your pocket on bottles, and then you don't have any money to go back home. Meanwhile, you are boozed. What's going to happen? But you see, when you make all these calculations initially, you will know that, like for the student, I have 2 CDs transport to go back home. I've spent 2 CDs already, and I have only 4 CDs left. So I cannot buy beyond 2 CDs, whatever I want to buy. I must take my transportation money down if I want to go home. You see, so this way you start little, you begin to, grow with it, and you see that before long you have control over all the things around you. So that's where we get into sanitation, we can get into oil and gas management, we can get to whatever you think of.
Whatever you think of. What are you thinking of, Francis? What do you want to be when you grow up?
A geophysicist.
A geophysicist. And you can see that mathematics is important in that. So you are studying math to become a geophysicist, not because you want to become a mathematician, but you understand that geophysics requires mathematical knowledge. Would you change your career and decide to be a mathematician since you like math so much?
No.
A math teacher?
No.
You want to be a geophysicist. You've made up your mind.
Yes.
And this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you're talking about. Someone who's made up their mind about what they want to be. They know that math is the way. Math is a means,
Yes.
not an end.
Yeah. To achieve that. And for that, we help you to understand the mathematics and see its relevance to the many other fields. And I keep challenging people, anybody who can come up with an area that there's no mathematics. And I don't get it.
What about nursing? Well, let's take a look at some health tidbits, because I wonder if mathematics has to do with health. Nursing, for example, or medicine. Maybe we'll get to speak to a young lady who is waiting to become a nurse. Be a nurse or a doctor.
Yeah, you see, when it comes to nursing or being a doctor, let's take a very close look at what happens every day when you go to hospital. What do? You go to the OPD, and then a nurse comes up, you sit by the nurse, takes up something they call a thermometer, puts under your armpit.
Oh, I know where you're going. It starts measuring numbers.
It's measuring, it's measurement. And they go and they take something, they put around you, they say they are taking your pressure. What is it? It's measurement. But after that, what happens? You go to the doctor with what the nurse has written on the paper. Now, do you see a lapse that can occur between when the nurse took your measurement and then when the doctor is going to give you medication? Because the doctor's medication is going to be based on what the nurse wrote. Suppose the nurse's reading is wrong. What's going to happen? And it happens several times in the hospitals. Several times. Think seriously about the case where maybe nurse is going to give you an injection and goes to draw, right? And then instead of maybe 5.5, the nurse draws 55. But
the
nurse
injection
sees
is painful already.
Okay, but the nurse sees only 5.5. But one of them is 5.5, the other one is 55.
Well, I hope Agbenu Feda doesn't ever do that.
Okay.
Agbenu Feda, Jibodi, welcome to Sunrise.
Thank you.
Okay, now you say you're going to be a nurse, and you're awaiting your results, and you like mathematics. Did you always like mathematics?
I just don't like maths now, but I would say I love mathematics.
Oh, you love it? So you're comfortable with all the formulas and the numbers, and what do you think about young girls in Ghana who say that mathematics is not my favorite subject?
I used to say that until I was introduced to Prof. Anku here, and then he made me understand that mathematics is part of everyday life activity. It's like from the kitchen to, let's say, the bathhouse, everywhere that you go to, it's mathematics. And then in Ghana now, every course that you're going to take, or any career that you're going to, it includes mathematics. I didn't know before till he told me all this. And then he will make you understand that it's like you cannot keep telling yourself that math is difficult. If even it's difficult, you need to understand it. You take the topic, you understand the topic, and then you know what you are doing. If you don't understand, you go to anybody that can help you. As in a one-on-one teacher. For him, he has one-on-one teacher because he doesn't believe in group studies. So that was what I helped.
That's the old school mathematical kung fu method. One-on-one. Now, if you don't have the privilege of having access to your one-on-one instruction, you can always get the book. And lots of people write in, they call in, they text in, asking for your contact, asking where they can find the book. And you say it was made for the NVTI. Now, I'm blanking. I don't know where the NVTI is. Where can I get this book?
They have NVTI centers all over the country. That's the National Vocational Training Institute. They are all over the country.
So I have to go there to get this book. Prof, you have
they
to do better than
have
that.
bookshops themselves where they have all of them. But I'm planning to have more copies come out so that we can have them at other bookshops all over the country. That's what I intend to do for people to get a book. Yeah.
Prof, lots of questions coming in. No more time left, but you have to do better than that. I mean, you've come here and announced on national television that you've got this amazing method that would make people love mathematics, like Agbenu Freda loves it now, and Frances says, she's really comfortable with it. And before, they said, well, it's not my favorite subject.